Have you ever been in this moment, when life feels unbearably heavy, when your prayers seem to hang in the sky, and deep inside your heart you whisper, "Ya Allah, why me?" The nights feel longer than usual. Your chest feels tight without a clear reason. You have tried to be patient. You have tried to be sincere, and yet the trial still refuses to leave. Maybe you lost something you truly loved, a job, someone close to your heart, trust, or perhaps you lost yourself. And in moments like this, you feel alone, unseen, misunderstood, as if Allah is far away. But the truth is, it is precisely at your weakest point that Allah is closest to you. You just don't realize it yet. Many people think trials are a sign of punishment, a sign that Allah is angry. But in Islam, trials are often the deepest form of Allah's love. The problem is, Allah's love does not always come in a form we like. Today, don't rush, don't skip this video, because it may be that the answers to the questions you've been holding inside your heart are waiting for you at the very end. And it may be that the trial you are facing right now is the path Allah is using to change your life forever. We often forget one important truth. This world was never meant to be a place of rest. It is not a place of permanent comfort. This world is a place of testing, and every single soul will be tested in a different way. Some are tested with lack, some are tested with loss, some are tested with illness, and some are tested with abundance, yet their hearts remain restless and empty. Allah tells us in the Quran that every soul will surely be tested. No one is exempt. Even the prophets, the most beloved people to Allah, lived lives filled with hardship and pain. Prophet Ayub was tested with illness for years. Prophet Yusuf was tested with betrayal and prison. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was tested with loss, rejection, and wounds that cut deeply into his heart. If trials were a sign of hatred, they would have been the most hated, yet they were the most loved. So the question is no longer, why am I being tested, but rather, what is Allah preparing for me through this test? The first great wisdom behind trials is that they awaken a sleeping heart. When life goes smoothly, we forget to be grateful. We forget to pray. We forget Allah. We feel strong. We feel capable. We feel in control. Until one day, Allah takes away just one small thing, and suddenly we realize how fragile we truly are. Trials break hidden arrogance. They humble the heart. They bring us back to raising our hands and saying, "Ya Allah, I need you." And at that moment, the prayer that comes from a broken heart becomes the most honest prayer of all. Not polished, not scripted, just pure need. Many people truly come to know Allah after their lives fall apart, not because Allah is cruel, but because without trials, our hearts become too busy with the world to remember Him. Trials teach us a powerful truth, that our true support is not people, not wealth, not status, but Allah alone. And when the heart reconnects with Him, that is where real transformation begins. But this is only the beginning, because behind every trial, there are deeper wisdoms that many people never realize, wisdoms that may completely change the way you see your pain.
There is something about trials that many people never realize. Trials do not come to destroy you. They come to filter your life. In life, not everyone who comes is meant to stay. Not everyone you love is meant to remain beside you. And not everyone you depend on will stand with you when life becomes heavy. Allah knows this, so trials arrive as separators. They separate sincerity from pretense, truth from illusion, those who truly care from those who were only present when life was easy. How many people disappeared when you fell? How many promises were broken when you needed them the most? It hurts deeply. But it is through this pain that you learn who truly matters. The second wisdom behind trials is that Allah is cleansing your life, cleansing your heart from excessive attachment to people, cleansing your circle from those who quietly drain your soul, cleansing your path from directions that were never good for you. So often we pray, Ya Allah, bring good people into my life. And Allah answers that prayer by removing the wrong ones. But because the process is painful, we assume Allah is punishing us, when in reality, Allah is protecting us. Not every loss is a failure. Not every goodbye is an ending. And not everyone who leaves needs to be chased or regretted. Sometimes people leave because they were never meant to walk with you beyond a certain chapter. And when you finally accept this, life becomes lighter. The third wisdom behind trials is that Allah is raising your rank. In Islam, trials are not only about patience, they are about value. Every tear that falls for the sake of Allah, every pain you endure while holding on to faith is never wasted. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that no fatigue, sorrow, anxiety, or even the prick of a thorn touches a believer, except that Allah removes sins through it. Imagine that. One period of hardship can erase years of mistakes. While we keep asking, when will this trial end? Allah is preparing a far greater answer. Look at the rank I am elevating for you. Perhaps without this pain, you would never reach the level you are standing on today. A version of you that is stronger, wiser, patient, and closer to Allah. Trials shape a character that comfort never could. Someone who has never been tested will collapse under a small test, but someone refined by patience can stand firm even when storms return again and again. This is where many people misunderstand trials. They think trials are punishments, but in truth, trials are training. Training for higher levels, training for deeper faith, training for greater closeness to Allah. Yet the wisdom of trials does not end here. There is another lesson that often reveals itself only after everything has passed. A lesson that makes people look back and say, "Now I understand why Allah tested me."
There is a realization in life that often comes too late, that not everything we want is what we truly need, and not everything that feels right now will lead to goodness later. This is the fourth wisdom behind trials. Allah is redirecting your life. Have you ever forced something to work? Planned it carefully, fought for it with everything you had, only to watch it collapse in front of you? It feels like total failure, like all your effort meant nothing. But what if that failure was actually protection?
What if the path you were chasing so desperately was filled with harm you could not yet see? Allah knows the future, we only see today. Sometimes Allah closes a door not because He does not care, but because behind that door is a pain far greater than the one you are feeling now. And Allah is too merciful to let you walk into it. Many people realize this years later. They look back and see that the job they never got, the relationship that ended, the plan that fell apart, all of it saved them. Nothing in your life happened randomly. Allah was guiding you toward a path more aligned with your destiny. The fifth wisdom behind trials is that Allah is building mature faith. Mature faith is not a faith that only believes when things are easy. It is a faith that trusts even when answers are delayed. Trust when the road is dark. Trust when silence follows your prayers. Trust when you are walking without understanding the direction. There are seasons in life when you pray yet see no immediate response, and this is where faith is truly tested. Will you still believe when you do not see? Will you still walk when you do not understand? True faith does not grow in comfort. It grows when you choose to remain standing, even when your heart is exhausted. Allah never wastes the patience of His servants. Every tear you hold back, every prayer you whisper in solitude, every night you survive with nothing but faith, all of it is recorded. And perhaps you do not see the results yet, but know this, not a single moment is lost. Allah works in ways we may never fully understand, but He is never late. And when the time finally comes, you will look back and say, Ya Allah, now I see why it had to happen this way. But before the trial ends, there is one final element that determines everything. The difference between someone who is broken by hardship and someone who is elevated by it. And that element is simple yet powerful. How you choose to respond to the trial.
In the end, trials do not define who you are. What defines you is how you respond to them. Two people can face the same trial, the same loss, the same pain, yet the outcomes can be completely different. One grows closer to Allah, the other drifts away into despair. Not because the trial was different, but because the heart responding to it was. Allah never promised a life without pain, but He promised that every pain carries meaning, and Allah is never late. When you feel that your prayers have not been answered, it does not mean Allah is ignoring you. It may mean that Allah is preparing an answer far greater than what you asked for, because He knows that if it came now, you would not yet be ready to receive it. So Allah delays, not to punish, but to prepare you. Remember this deeply. If a trial brings you closer to Allah, then that trial is a gift. If sadness makes you pray more sincerely, then that sadness is mercy. And if loss teaches you that Allah is your only true refuge, then that loss is hidden love. Not everyone is given the chance to know Allah through hardship. Not everyone is shaped by patience, and not everyone can remain standing through long trials. If you are still standing today, still waking up despite exhaustion, still praying despite silence, still trusting despite uncertainty,
then Allah has chosen you for this test, and Allah never chooses the wrong servant. One day, at a time you least expect, Allah will reveal the reason behind everything you endured, not to reopen your wounds, but to show you how strong you became. And when that day comes, you will smile and say, "Thank you, Ya Allah, for not giving up on me when I almost gave up on myself." If today you were being tested, do not rush to label your life as a failure. Do not assume your story is ending. It may be that you are standing in the most important chapter of your life. So keep walking, keep being patient, keep trusting, because behind every trial there is a wisdom waiting for you, and Allah has always been closer than you ever realized.